Girlies, welcome to another video, and this one is gonna be quite a revealing one. Okay, I feel like we've grown so much on this page. Thank you, all my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and God will continue to bless you for doing so. But we've obviously grown so astronomically in the past couple of months that I feel like it's only proper that I reintroduce myself. Plus, I can see a lot of you are being very nosy because the last Q&A I had almost a year ago, the views are beginning to climb. The people want to know who this so-called plant icon is. So you know what, I asked you guys on my Instagram and in my YouTube community tab to ask me your nosy questions, because I know y'all are nosy. You want to know the tea. So I asked you guys to send in your nosy questions, both personal and plant related, and you guys came through. So today in this book, for the first time, I'm going to be exposing myself. Well, actually not exposing myself in the literal way, but exposing aspects of my life that I haven't shared with you guys at all, or even in a while. And you know me, I'm very TMI. I can reveal all and everything with y'all. So this is going to be a very, very revealing. It's going to be a very, very revealing video. Okay, without much ado, let's start tackling your questions one after the other. Grab a cup of coffee, grab someone, clutch your pearls, and let's get to the expose. Okay, so babes, we're just gonna start very hot. We're not gonna beat around the bush because I know that's why some of you are here. First question, and I got so many people asking me this both on my Instagram and YouTube, is have you reconciled with your family? Ooh. Let's get there. Let's talk about it. So if you do not know, I'm actually in a way estranged from my family, my nuclear family at the moment. And if you really want to know what happened, I actually made a video about it, revealing what essentially transpired between I and my family. Trigger warning, but it was a domestic assault and a domestic violence issue in which I was the victim. The dynamic and the relationship of my family unfortunately went down south the moment my plant business started to kick up, and it culminated into an alteration where I was physically assaulted. Now my OG girlies know that if I had kept silent, I probably wouldn't be here with you guys. I would have been probably 6 feet under the ground or still in that toxic situation. I came out publicly, and my Instagram girlies, this was long before I had taken this YouTube channel seriously, my Instagram girlies really came through for me. They rallied, they bought my plants, they donated funds, and that was how I had more than enough to actually move into this space. And here I am, I think 3 years later or 2 years later, flourishing. Okay, thank God. So what has happened since then? Has my family reached out to apologize, to reconcile? Well, actually, I was the one that reached out. And I reached out for two reasons. One, because of mounting pressure from people. I feel like in this society of ours, and if you're an African, if you're a Nigerian, I'm sure you're going to bear me witness as well, we feel like the onus should be on the child to reconcile with the parents. Even if the child is the victim and even if the child has been hurt, we feel like the responsibility for reconciliation should fall on the parents. Because when people heard this story, because this was a public story that I shared online, people will say, reach out to your mom, you know, she's the only one that you have. By the way, my dad has passed away, God rest his soul. He was a peaceful, loving man. I'm going to insert a picture. We look so alike, similar. Anyway, so yes, he's passed away, so it's just my mom that is left. So a lot of people were like, reach out to your mom, you know, she's the only one you have. You know, the way these African parents can be, you don't want to get the call that your mom has passed away. So there was that pressure from that side, but also because I am a Christian. I may not be the most perfect Christian, right? I may have my flaws, but I still imbibe certain Christian values, and one of them I hold dear to me is forgiveness. You know, I believe if Jesus Christ can forgive us of any of our sins, regardless of how terrible, why can't I forgive people who have harmed me as the Bible instructed me to do so? Also, I wasn't entirely a saint in that situation. I did and said some hurtful things to my family. So with that in mind, I reached out to my mom and I sent her a text apologizing to her and asking her for her forgiveness. And babes, the response I got, and that's the thing, when you're forgiving someone, you're not forgiving them because you expect them to receive you with open arms. You forgive them because it's the right thing to do if you go by the Christian values anyway. So the response I got was quite dismissive. There was no acknowledgement from her part about the things that she did and said, which typically didn't come as a surprise to me anyways, because if you know African parents, they hardly ever apologize to their children. So her response was dismissive, and that was basically the end of that. But babes, the one thing I noticed that happened when I reached out to my mom to apologize for my own flaws and my mistakes was that there was such a heaviness that was lifted from my heart. There was such a heaviness and a bitterness that was gradually lifted from my heart. And this is why I feel like I think I'm generally a joyful person, honestly speaking. And that is why forgiveness is so healing. You forgive people not because they deserve it, but because it heals you. It heals you. So yes, I also used to have a lot of nightmares. Oh my god, I told you guys this was going to be revealing. I have a feeling this is going to be a lengthy video because I low-key wanna unpack. I also used to have a lot of nightmares about like my family and mom and the incident. But the moment I actually reached out, and tried to reconcile, those nightmares stopped. So yeah, I also reached out to my elder sister. She's like my dad. She has a very kind, soft heart. So she wasn't like the instigator of any one of these things. I reached out to her, and unfortunately the response I got from her was dismissive as well. But it's fine. I decided to just stay by myself. I was hot, but I decided to stay by myself. Then all of a sudden, after months, even after a year, my mom reached out to me asking me for money. Honestly, it felt like such a jab in my heart because I thought she was reaching out to ask me how I'm doing, how I'm faring. She just reached out to me asking me for money. And I told her how I felt about the situation. I aired my grievances, I aired my heart, and I told her how I felt about it. But I didn't have the heart to deny her of her request. I was thankful to God that I was in a position to help at that time. And it just made me see the greater scheme of things and how I'm in a position where I am better off. I can even render help, and I am joyful, and I am happy, and I am lighter. So I was thankful for God that I was able to render help in that situation. But babes, it didn't stop there. Each time my mom reached out and even my sister reached out, it was always to ask for money. So I told myself after a while, enough is enough. I am not going to enable this toxic African circle, this toxic African family dynamic. And I'm sure my fellow Africans will relate to this. We have a horrible culture here. Honestly, girls, it's the truth of not holding our elders and our parents responsible. I feel like when it comes to reconciliation, there has to be equal responsibility on both parts. You have to admit you're wrong, I have to admit my wrong, and then we can reconcile. But my family members don't want to do that. No one has actually issued me an apology. No one. And all they've done is reach out to me to ask me for help. So anyways, I've told myself, I've tried. I'm just gonna keep my distance until there is acknowledgement from their end. Okay? But I have no bad blood against them. I have no ill thoughts against my family. I feel like I have really healed to the point that even if I hear you speaking bad about my mom, I'm gonna. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah, guys, we started off deep, but I just wanted to get that off, and then we can reveal things that are a bit more lighter. The next question one of you all asked is, do you think you have merchandise available at some point? Girlies, honestly, when it comes to the business end and the branding end of content creation, I feel like I'm really slacking. I feel like I'm honestly not good at it or taking advantage of it. Like when it comes to creating content, I can create engaging content, but when it comes to actually branding and producing merch, I don't really know how to go about it, and I don't know the logistics behind it, especially because most of my viewers are based overseas in the US, the UK, the Canada, and the rest. So I don't really know how to go about it. I feel like someone like me, I need like a brand manager to just handle all those things, but right now I can't afford one. But you know what, I just need to sit down and extensively research about the logistics, how to go about shipping the stuff to y'all, the branding. And also, if you want to share any tips and tricks and have any ideas, do let me know in the comments, okay? But yo, I have something for my hardcore babes that actually want to support me. I actually just opened and started a YouTube membership. And actually, the main reason why I even started this YouTube membership was so that I could freely express myself more. Because, babes, when it comes to YouTube wants you to do one thing and repeat it over and over again. Your videos have to be similar so YouTube can optimally recommend them to your audience. So babes, it's about repeating. And if you look at the most successful YouTube channels out there, it's pretty much about repeating the same thing over and over again, which can be quite formulaic and which can be quite restrictive if you're a creative like me that is very versatile. And my OG YouTube girlies will relate to this because back then my content was very versatile. I took you guys on vlogs, I took you shopping, a day in my life, all of that, but I was struggling with views because my channel wasn't optimized for recommendation. That is just how YouTube works now. So I opened this membership where I can be more of myself and express more things that I can't typically express on YouTube. If not, YouTube is going to bury my channel. So there you're going to be getting more personal and revealing details about my life, about my thoughts on this plant hobby, things that could potentially get me cancelled. I just uploaded a video there about how an influential family in this country tried to harass, bully, and have me locked up because of a plant. Yeah, that's the reality of Nigeria that I don't share here and I can't share here. But over there, I share as liberally as I want. So if you want more of the tea, go there. Also, I have no tears in it, so you have access to everything. I ain't got time for single tear. You have access to everything there, the whole 9 yards there. So yeah, check it out. This is gonna be a lengthy video, guys. I didn't expect my answers to be this long and chatty. This is gonna be a lengthy video, so just stay buckled up, and I hope you have nothing else you're doing today. Okay, so the next question that I got asked a lot about, to show you guys how nosy y'all are, is, are you actively dating right now? Girlies, well, yes, girlies, I'm actually in a relationship, and I've been in a relationship for 3 years. It's gonna be 3 years this year. Your boy is not single. How can I be a spec like this and I'm single? No, I have been in a serious relationship now for 3 years with the most amazing partner. Unfortunately, I cannot share details about my relationship. If you know, you know. Actually, in my YouTube membership, I may divulge. I may be a bit more comfortable sharing details there because I know it's for the girlies that gets it. But publicly, yeah, unfortunately, I can't share details about my relationship. If you know, you know. But just know your boy. Just know your boy is not single. Yes. Let's move on to the next question. I love the video with Peter. Did you get enough money to help him with the motorcycle? First of all, you guys are extremely amazing. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys really came through when I made that video. If you don't know what we're talking about here. Peter is my garden assistant who one day, while randomly, it was so random, while randomly helping me in the garden, asked me to please help him buy a bike that he can use for work. If you want to know the full tea on that, check out this video and go watch that after this. And then I brought it out here, and you guys really came through. So we were actually able to raise a substantial amount of money. What we were able to raise from donations to my Buy Me a Coffee was the equivalent of 500,000 naira, which is actually $500,000 naira. I could not believe my eyes when I saw that. That video didn't even get a lot of views, yet you guys came through. So God is gonna bless you. Unfortunately, that is still not enough to get a bike. The cost of getting a decent, fairly used bike, just to show you how expensive things have become in this country, is gonna range towards the 900,000 naira to the 1 million naira and above mark. But 500,000 naira is still a lot of money, guys, and Peter was extremely grateful.
I want to give you something. For this one, you're not going to pay me back.
Thank you, sir.
You deserve more than that.
God bless us.
Yeah, it's fine.
I was so surprised when I told him he didn't have to give me back, that it wasn't a loan, it was just a gift. The joy on his face, I honestly will never actually forget, and it made me realize it was worth it. Because guys, at one point I was beginning to regret how spontaneous I was about the whole decision and not thinking it through, and I'm going to explain why. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine here in Nigeria about the amount of money that was raised for Peter, and I was just telling her this because I was very happy, and she gave me some very, very sound advice, which if you're Nigerian you'll be able to understand. She told me that please, I should not give Peter the lump sum of what was donated, because it could be a potential security threat on my part. And unfortunately, that is the reality of navigating Nigeria. In Nigeria, you have to be extremely security conscious with everything you do. You don't want to give people the impression that you're not security savvy, or that you have so much disposable income that they can randomly ask you for a bike that costs millions of naira, and then you're like, yes, take the money and go and buy the bike. Even if your intentions are pure and your intentions are good, it may give them or other people around them the impression that here is this person that has so much money, therefore let us try to scam him, let us try to kidnap him, let us try to rob him. And in my situation, I live by myself and I'm very femme presenting. So babes, honestly, that's the reality of navigating Nigeria. You have to be extremely security conscious here, even at the expense of helping people the way you want to help them. So I wrestled over this decision for days, guys. I was beginning to even regret not thinking it through, and I was scared and anxious for some time. You know what, babes? I just told myself I'm just gonna give Peter the money. I'm just gonna give it to him. I'm just gonna give it to him because he needs it, and I can tell that he's a genuinely good person, and I believe that I'll be fine. That's Nigeria for you. That is Nigeria for you. That is navigating this country. Your goodness, your generosity, your innocent heart can land you in trouble. Yeah. Babes, don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine. But thank you all for coming through. I feel like next time I'm gonna think this through before I spontaneously just, include such things in my video. Next time I'm gonna think this through and be a bit more security conscious. But so far I do not regret anything that I did, and I believe I will never have cause to regret. So yeah, in Jesus' name. So yes, guys, this video is going to be long and I have so many questions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer every single one of them. Oh my god. Someone asked, best part about living in Nigeria. Should I be honest with you guys? Should I keep it real? I don't like to lie. I don't like to pretend to y'all. Best part about living in Nigeria is, I will say, the food. Oh, Nigerian food is always delicious. One thing I like about Nigerian food is that it is always seasoned. You will never eat Nigerian food that is bland. Meals can be a bit on the spicy side, especially for my Western girlies, but it is always seasoned and delicious. Our jollof rice, our egusi, oh my goodness. But to be honest, babes, outside of that, and I'm sorry if I sound cynical, I'm sorry if I sound very unpatriotic, but I'm being real. Outside of that, there's nothing else I enjoy about living in this nation. Certainly not the weather. The Nigerian sun is too harsh. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said the cost of living, because the cost of living in Nigeria used to be so cheap. Nigeria used to be one of the cheapest countries to live in until this man came to power. Oh, I don't want to go on a tangent, because when it comes to this man, the current president of this country, let's just say I can be very passionate about how I feel about him. This man came to power and inflation, the cost of living, everything skyrocketed. Now, this country is so expensive to live in, especially if you earn solely in Naira. Oh my God. Oh my God. So babes, definitely not the cost of living, also the overall mentality of the people. Babes, I'm not a typical Nigerian. You see me with my love for nature and all of that. If you expect all Nigerians to be like this, to share my values and to share my beliefs, I am not a typical Nigerian. Unfortunately, we have a lot of unlearning to do in this part of the world. We have to unlearn classism. Jesus, classism is rife. Don't even get me started on that. We have to unlearn elitism. We have to unlearn misogyny. We have to unlearn homophobia. We have to unlearn colorism. Oh, you girlies in the States have racism. Well, I'm gonna do you one up. We have tribalism. Tribalism is epic in this part of the world. Literally, a landlord will tell you, I don't want to rent out this house because you're not from my tribe. I don't want to give you this job because you're not from my tribe. It's crazy. That was my neighbor. It is crazy. We have so much we have to unlearn. I have to say it. We have to unlearn our propensity for crime. Yeah. Which is why the Nigerian passport is, most countries don't want us anymore. It's a deep rabbit hole of things we have to unlearn, and I don't want this video to turn into a cynical ranting video, but oh Jesus. So just the food. Thank you. So I want to ask, what are your favorite plant YouTube channels? I'm curious to know who the plant icon watches in his spare time. Thank you for calling me a plant icon, which I really am. Thank you for acknowledging that. Should I be honest with you guys? Should I be brutally honest? I don't really watch a lot of plant YouTube. I don't. I used to watch plant YouTube heavily and exclusively, but these days I actually don't. And I feel like it's because the content out there these days, and girlies, I'm just being honest, the content out there these days is actually not interesting. There are 2 plant YouTubers that I still watch religiously. I still find myself coming back to watch their videos. The first one is my home girl, the plant bestie in my head. She's the plant bestie in my head. Wild Fern. I always watch her videos. And there's another plant bestie in my head who lives far away in Australia, the Morning Chorus. I've talked about her before on this channel. I watch those videos. I never skip a video from those 2 religiously. And I've asked myself, why do I keep coming back to watch those 2 and not the other planty girlies? And I think for me, it's the total package. It's not just the plants. Like Wild Fern is like the complete I love her aesthetic. I love her home decor. She has an eye for really quirky knickknacks and trinkets and accessories, down to the phone case that she used. She just, the whole package is why I find myself coming back to watch her videos, not even necessarily because of the plants. Do you get what I mean? And also the other lady, Shy, her name is Shiny in Australia. Her videos are so beautifully curated. The way her videos are curated, the music she uses, the angles. I could literally listen to her talk about a shoe. I find myself watching. So it's not even about the plants per se that keeps me coming back. There's just more to it. And some of you have actually shared that on this channel, that you came here because of the plants, but you came back because of the personality. I feel like now we're at a time where people want more than just the plants. It's not the plant, even though this is a plant channel, it's not the plant that keeps them coming back, because trust me, they pretty much have heard everything they want to know about plants, and they can easily Google, check on TikTok, and go to ChatGPT. But I feel like it's other things that keeps them coming, whether it's the personality, the aesthetic, just other things that keeps them coming back. Yeah, I'm going to share more about this in my membership. Yeah, I feel like this is something I need to share amongst the girlies that get it. The girlies that get it, I won't judge. But yeah, but when it comes to YouTube, Jesus, YouTube has me on a chokehold, yo. I don't even watch Netflix and Prime and Hulu. I watch YouTube. And honestly, I watch a lot of interior decor. Homebody has me on a chokehold. There's no Homebody episode I haven't watched. I watch a lot of interior decor. I love Carolyn Winkler. I hope I'm pronouncing her name well. Oh my god, I love her. There's this guy called the award contender. I'm a bit of like a movie nerd, and I like the whole Oscar race, the whole award race thing. And he talks about that. So I actually watched that as well. Yeah, I could yap on and on and on. But babes, I think this video is long. Plus, it's about to rain. It's currently the rainy season, and it rains every 5 minutes here. It's about to rain. It's getting dark. So I think it's time to end this video. I really, really enjoyed it. I have so many questions here. Honestly, so many questions here that I wanted to answer, but I feel like I've yapped enough. You know what, babes? We're gonna do a part 2. I promise you, we're gonna do a part 2 on this. But if you actually enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And also check out my membership. I have so many plans for that member. It's gonna be the best house plant YouTube membership channel. Like, I have so many plans, I have so many video ideas. So check it out. If the Lord touches you to, subscribe to that as well. And then I'll see you guys in the next one.